Greetings, everybody, and welcome to G for G on YouTube. What do you think of the background? Huh? Yeah, there you go. So, before we get into Marbles of Dongers, and it is time to once again call this Marbles of Dongers, I'll briefly touch upon Beta 4 for Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux. Goofy's continuing to make progress in it. He's got a couple more things that he wants to iron up before he considers the release to Beta 4. So hopefully it should be pretty soon. Since everybody spends every video comment ever asking about that, it's time to just go ahead and take care of that right in the beginning. So, Marbles of Dongers, you have once again earned that moniker. We need to take a look at a few things here and talk about it because this is really serious at this point. So right now in the store are the Allies of Wakanda outfit set, which seems to be black and gold and purple. So I think they mean to say Allies of Prince, because that's what that looks like. Looks like a print set. So they have some free consumables. And you can activate some. I'm going to go ahead and claim this one. So it's interesting that we are talking about this here, because this is really the main thing of what's going on. They have gone pay to win. You can now buy consumables in the store. Currently unable to contact the Square. Oh, well, that's great. Yeah. Thanks for not giving me my free piece of shit, Square. And this is the very reason we're talking about this stuff. And I can't even get rid of the message. Oh, that's great. Alright, is it going to go away now? Maybe. Okay, so look at what is now in the store. And this is what has everybody royally pissed. For 7 days, grants the owner 1.5 experience bonus for 1 week of real time. Started on a Monday and ends on a Monday. 3-day fragment extractor. Gain fragment bonuses. 3-day hero catalyst. Grants the owner 1.5 experience bonus for 3 days of real time. Fragment extractor. Catalyst for a day. All these things are essentially the pay-to-win mechanics of free-to-play games, like mobile games. This is abhorrent. This is the straightest up pile of bullshit we could imagine Crystal doing to Marvel's Avengers, and it's something they said they wouldn't do, but more on that in a moment. So right now we have a couple of bundles. We have a Hulk Gladiator looking bundle in the store. Mostly all the same, palette swaps. You know, okay, I mean, bundles I'm not necessarily going to complain about. I've had them in Heroes of the Storm. I've taken advantage of them in Heroes of the Storm. This outfit is one of the closest to real Iron Man Marvel outfits ever. So if there wasn't MCU skins, I would probably... you can see it's already owned. I got this because this was one of the only Iron Man skins I could tolerate. The face was actually normal. The mask on this was pretty normal. That's a good looking, almost stealth suit kind of a setup there. Decent colors. And this is very classic too. If the gray was blacker, the black and the gold has been a representation of Iron Man we've seen before. So I would probably get this bundle if I didn't already own this. This would be a good bundle, and I would absolutely spend $4.50 for that. $4.50 is cheap as hell. But here is the Prince set. By the way, you'll notice my graphics are a lot better than other times where I've covered Marvel's Avengers. That's because the game is on the Game Pass. And because I have the Game Pass on Xbox and PC, this is actually my Xbox progression, but now available to me on my PC. This is what I had always hoped for when it came to getting it on the Xbox. The ability to play this so very cleanly on both machines. If I wanted to be downstairs and not in the office and not sitting in this chair, I could do that. If I wanted to be up here making good high quality videos on this not so high quality fucking game, I could do it. This bundle is kind of garbage. It's mostly my least favorite skins, and they have some of the catalysts in there, and then we have the old Red Room set, and there's some decent ones in Red Room. Kamala tends to get decent ones in those. So this is what my team looks like right now: Ronin, Fear Itself, Black Widow, MCU Cap, Civil War, Black Panther, Maestro Hulk, Das Vidania, Kamala, MCU Thor, but without the belly, Kate, I think this one's Paisley, and then that is MCU Iron Man. So, let's go ahead and talk about what is really happening over here. So, Crystal and Square have decided that what the deal is that they have nerfed the experience game, and we know a while back they nerfed the costume game by making the extractor non-functional. And they continue to put skins in the store as expensive as $1,400, which is about $15, 1,400 credits. So they continued to do that, and they made getting skins in the game not workable. The opposite happened in Marvel's Heroes. Or Marvel Heroes. When Marvel Heroes started to come out in 2013, it was considered excessively monetized. And it was very hard to get other Now, Heroes would drop. Did they make the skin? Oh, they changed it. Well, they changed it to the fragments. So actually, Marvel Heroes was somewhat similar, where characters would drop while you were playing. You get like a token. You could find Deadpool simply by playing around. However, the drop rate wasn't particularly good. So they got roasted for it, and then they went back to the drawing board, and they came back with a revitalized version that gave you fragments that you could spend on heroes. And some heroes were cheaper and some were more expensive, but it became a little bit more fair. And then when a new character would come out, they would sell a bundle that would have the character and maybe one iconic uniform. Like Beast might come out with like shorts, but then they would be bundled with the X-Man pants or something like that. I mean, Iron Man was a base game, but you might get a base Iron Man, but you might maybe get a War Machine looking skin with it. So Marvel Heroes did something similar to that, but it was a free-to-play game. The entry fee to it was free. Now, you may want to stick up for Square and say, well, Napalm, if you think about it, if it's on the Game Pass, isn't it free? You're not spending money for it. Wrong. You are spending money to get in the Game Pass. Yes, you are getting value from other things that you do in the Game Pass. It's not just Marvel Avengers. But what you pay per year is so far and above if you would just drop money to get Marvel's Avengers Raw. So here is a tweet from Avengers Hater that posted a video of, I think back at E3 or one of the cons, where somebody was saying, we will only be monetizing skins. We are not going to be pay to win or doing that kind of stuff. And Marvel contacted him on Twitter, not Marvel, but Square contacted him on Twitter and said a dev DM'd him and said, tweeting that video yesterday of our team on stage saying we wouldn't do consumables, opened up our community team, in particular Megan, to a ton of hate messages. Also, for the record, the community team was not responsible for the decision to include XP consumables in the game. Our team, who had nothing to do with the decision, are now the target of hate online because of your disgusting account. You literally have hate in your profile name, so don't try to rally others to do the same. It hurts us as people and impedes us from making the game. Fuck you. Sorry. Fuck you, dev. A, leave this shit up to the community manager. B, sticking your neck out for something like this is not the way to go. I mean, I don't know how many times we've seen this from gaming houses that when they do something like that, they literally are just putting their head under the guillotine and they're pulling the cord themselves. Um, and look at what is still happening to the game. So this is MODOK in the campaign, and Thor is just sitting there hovering, and he goes down, and he goes down. There's his team right there. He's looking around in the crater, and he's headed towards his teammates. That's Hulk, and he can't even get there. There's an invisible wall. This is what the problem is with this game. Here's another meme that kind of explains it. Go and blame the Reddit community for something a non-member did, and then disappear without answering questions. Sire, I feel as if that will only hurt the player-dev relationship more. Just do it. I mean, this is exactly what happens. Reddit is alive. Forbes is alive. Giant freaking robot is alive. I mean, this Paul Tassi really covers Marvel Avengers a lot with Forbes. Now, he's right. They should be basking in a good week. The reason is Black Panther did a tremendous amount for Square and the community. It gave us a character that played really, really well. Black Panther is a phenomenal character to play in the game. His traversal with the double flip and then the heavy punch to increase it even further made a lot of puzzle pieces, puzzle platforming really good. The takedown move, the charging takedown move, is just phenomenal for when you need a bit of a breather. He's just such a fun character, and he's the only one that has ever released that I've taken from zero to the top straight through and actually cared to do it. Not Hawkeye, not Kate, not Black Panther. Well, no, actually Black Panther, but not Hawkeye or Kate. And in a year and change that the game has been around, to think that we only have 3 characters. Can you imagine how upset you would be if you were playing Marvel's Avengers Alliance and you only got 3 characters in a year? Or Future Fight and you only got 3 characters in a year? Or Strike Force and you only got 3 characters in a year? And you don't even have to pay to play those games. You paid for Marvel's Avengers and you got 3 characters. 2 of which were relatively close to each other. I mean, it's really, really sad. But Black Panther was a little bit of a reset button. I kind of licked the finger, went plunk, and the community was like, all right, okay, cool. Wakanda, fun story. You're sort of bullshit when you say 25 hours of content. You mean plus the base game. You worded that a little sketchy, but we're used to this shit by now. We live in a highly capitalist society. We are very used to this stuff. By the way, don't misunderstand that comment. I like living in a capitalist society. It's where I want to be. But you have to be aware that you're there. That is a very, very sketchy statement to say 25 hours. That statement is aimed at somebody who doesn't own the game, but wants to get the game and play Black Panther's Wakanda content. So the base game, plus the other stuff, plus Wakanda. Okay, 25 hours of content. You tried, but we're smarter than that. So Black Panther really was a lot of fun. The right amount of challenge, the platforming segments, Wakanda as a city is great. The jungles around Wakanda make you feel like you really want to be there. If you ever wanted to visit Wakanda from the movies, the game very much continues that trend. But that was a good thing. They rolled that into it being included on the Game Pass, where some people already paying for the Game Pass can get it for free. PC users don't have to get it on Steam now. Now they have a bit of a cross-save thing going on here between their Xbox content and their PC content. perfect for me. It literally fulfills every desire I want out of this game. And then they do this. An entire row of microtransactions and consumable boosts with XP, in-game currency, all of that shit. It used to be they doled it out to you for free. It used to be that it came bundled with bundles, no pun intended. They, as was pointed out by an article on Reddit, they were softening you up.
Loot boxes or pay-to-win scenarios.
There it is. Look.
So our promise to the community is that we won't have random loot boxes or pay-to-win scenarios.
Pay-to-win scenario. It's not a random loot box, but it is a pay-to-win scenario. Let's hear it again.
Is that we won't have random loot boxes or pay-to-win scenarios.
That's what this is. Okay. Back to my comment that it was available on Reddit as an article. This is what free-to-play games do to you. This is literally the steps on the floor to learn to dance. There was a guy, he might have been Swedish or Swiss, I don't really remember what it was, who did presentations on how to make money grubbing free-to-play games. It's out there. You often see it when people talk about how fucking bad EA is. Everybody posts videos of this conference where he's up on stage and Jurgen Blurgen free-to-play game. It's drug dealing. It's addiction. This is what a drug dealer goes and does when he gives you a little, here's a line of cocaine for free. And then what happens is you're like, oh, wow, that was cool. I felt really great for 30 minutes. And then you go back to him, you're like, so the funny stuff that made me feel good for 30 minutes, what's up? Then it's $20, then it's $50, and then everything after that, just $50, and now you're hooked, and you look like Donald Trump Jr., and you're on the streets, homeless with your cocaine habit, and a shopping cart with your puppy and your blankets and a pillow. That's what they did here. They literally followed the addiction steps, the Jurgen Blurgen free-to-play steps conference thing that was out there. They softened you up by giving you the free consumables and getting used to it. They softened you up by bundling the catalysts in the bundles. They softened you up for the big experience weekends, and then what did they do? They ripped the carpet, the rug out from under you by nerfing the experience. And when they did that, they road mapped it out to sell you a convenience item. It's not actually a convenience item anymore because it's not taking you from 0 to 10, which would be a convenience. If everything is flat and this thing is a bonus, then it's a convenience item. It's taking you from 0, the base, to 10. What it's doing is we were at 0, they nerfed us to -5, and they're selling you a pay-to-win item that takes you from -5 to 5. That is the free-to-play mantra. And it's the pay-to-win scenario to get you back to 0 and a little bit beyond. And they knew they could do that because of the free inclusion in the Game Pass. And they knew they got something like 20,000 extra players now. And now because of that, they know they have a group of people that are going to suck it up, that just came off of a high experience weekend and want that high even more, that hit, that free coke hit, that free heroin shot, that free teeth-shattering meth rock. And people want it again, and now they're going to sell it to you. Fucking addictive, drug-dealing, free-to-play bullshit. And it is truly so obvious with this. They're wearing it on their face. It is a Phantom of the Opera mask saying free-to-play bullshit. And then on the other side is the burnt-up, damaged side that they wear because the community's so upset and torching them. Here, there's a reason Crystal Dynamics opted for XP and resource boosts in line with the Game Pass release, because in March, developers reworked the speed at which players are able to level up. Maxing out characters in Marvel's Avengers used to only require a mission or two, but the process is no longer as simple or straightforward. Crystal Dynamics has increased the amount of XP needed to move on to the next level, starting at level 25. Now, admittedly, some people have come out along the way saying it's not really that bad. And I will say this, to max out in just a few missions, 2 to 3 missions, is alright, that is a little bit bullshit. I was able to 1 to 50 Black Panther in a relatively good amount of time. I think it could have been shorter, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. But as they say, fans are losing their mind because experience points are more difficult to come by. Devs have responded to consumer complaints about nerfing the system with an additional problem. Almost like responding to an illness with a bottle of poison, users can now avail themselves to the XP and resource boosts. Blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. There was a way in which they could have done this and the community would have accepted it. For a limited time. They could have said something like, we would like to welcome the new Xbox Game Pass members to our community. We understand you may have friends that play the game and you would like to catch up to their progression so you can play with them. For a limited time, 2-week time period, we will be selling boosts in the marketplace so that you can catch up. If you desire these products, understand you have 2 weeks from X to Y to purchase these boosts, and then they will be gone. That is something I think fans would have went, oh, fucking great. I can now level Black Widow if I want to. If somebody's been playing for a while, they could be like, yeah, you know, I leveled Cap during the weekend, but I didn't get to level Black Widow. I could buy these resources and do it. You could be a new Xbox Game Pass fan, and you could be like, yeah, I want to catch up to my friend Tom who's been playing this for a while. Let me buy some of the boosts. It's technically quote-unquote free. Big, huge parentheses, quotes around it, free. Yeah, I can spend $10 to get a boost and, you know, really play it for a week and catch up to them. They could have done that, and I think the community would have been happy. The fact that they shoved it out there with no communication, they're not saying it's a time-limited event, they're essentially saying it is a permanent deal. It looks disgusting, and the community is upset. I mean, there you go. This one over here, that's like, hey, be nice to the mods and everything like that. And this post by Wolverine Kazuri, who does some great work on skin ideas. I mean, they haven't exactly picked up his work, but he does really good mock-ups of skins for existing characters and what other characters may look like in the game. I don't condone the personal attacks, but this debacle really needs to be addressed. If you don't want people venting their frustrations against the devs and CMs who've done nothing wrong, then you should ask one of the higher-ups who does make these decisions to join your next stream. I'd be happy to hear them explain and justify it. It's been over a year. What's going on over there? You say you want an open dialogue with us when it suits you, and when you want us to look like the bad guys. It's simply not up to AAA standards, that's true, or the Marvel brand. We know Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out October 26th, which I'm going to pre-order a deluxe edition and maybe make the same mistake as this. I get it that your hands are tied behind red tape. You still have a chance to turn it around. I mean, look. God, it pisses me off. Where is the awareness of these devs in any game that doesn't watch the devs that came before them? Anthem, No Man's Sky, Destiny's community relationships. Everybody was like, Destiny people, Bungie, what the fuck are you guys doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? The Eververse store, when are you going to communicate to us? And when they began to break from Activision and Blizzard, they said they were going to be better, and according to my girlfriend, they did. But there's still moments where they're not very forthright with the community. If I was running a dev house, God, the level of communication I would have with the fan base would be basically like they were living in my fucking house. Because this is terrible. And they could be in such a great place right now with the Game Pass and Black Panther. They could have a whole wealth of new fans keeping this game alive, getting a skin here and there. The influx of passive, willful decision-making money that they could have on their hands would be out of this world right now. But what they're doing is they're doing the give it to me, the Stephen Colbert give it to me gif. That's what they're doing. But they're basically holding a gun to your head. Imagine a panhandler on a street just with the sign homeless, lost wife due to COVID, and is just sitting there with the sign like this. Imagine how you feel giving to somebody like that compared to somebody who walks up to your car at a stoplight and says homeless and then sticks a Glock in the window and is like, okay. Because that's what they're doing right now. Glock homeless guy. So, anyway, that's my rant for now. Hope you guys liked the video. Hope you like the background. Let me know what you think about this bullshit right now. I did a video, could Black Panther save Marvel's Avengers? And I guess the answer is Marvel's Avengers themselves says no. Take care, everybody.